I'm with Steven, good buddy of mine that I've met only online through our group. It's called Extreme Coffee and Cacao Growers, and we post a lot on there. We put pictures, and not long ago Steven did a great video explaining how he hand pollinates his cacao plants. So I wanted to come and visit him, and has beautiful property here with a nice backyard, has several cacao trees, and I just want to introduce Steven, and maybe he could tell us a little bit about what he has going on here in his property.
Hey guys, well this is my #1 cacao here. It's a big tall tree. I got it probably I'd have to say 7 years ago or so from the Broward County Rare Fruit and Vegetable Council, and stuck it here, and it's been growing great. I believe this is a Forastero variety.
And you've gotten pods off of this because I've seen you post pictures.
Yeah.
Okay, what time of year do you usually get the pods?
The most of them come like October through December.
Right. That's what that's what I'm experiencing. The same thing that we're getting, which for me is bad because, and for you maybe, because if you get a cold snap, what happens? You know.
Yeah, they die back.
They die back a little bit, but it seems like they're as they mature, they're able to take it a little bit more.
Yeah.
It seems that way anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you were going to talk about, besides the fact that it's a Forastero and everything, I wanted to ask you, because there's a debate going on, and you have people actually say this from like people with degrees in agriculture and whatnot, that you can't grow cacao in Florida because there's no pollinator, right? So I never hand pollinated, and in the beginning you never did either, right?
Yeah. And
you had pods.
Yeah.
So
I still have pods from like for example, that one right there.
Yeah, in the back, he's gonna get a little one. And there was no hand pollination involved.
No hand pollination.
No hand pollination.
Involved.
So this is not like we're telling you that you have to hand pollinate. This is like just explaining that if you want to get more yield, you find that it's worthwhile.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. What got you into this?
Well, I've been a chocoholic.
A chocoholic.
Yeah, okay. I've always been a chocoholic, and I love plants. And
cool.
Yeah.
And how many do you have here on your property?
I have, I don't know, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7. You
have about 7 trees, yeah. And I did see them. He has them all scattered all around. And this area is very, very similar to like a rainforest, because you have such a high canopy of other trees. You have mangoes here, and you have other fruit trees as well.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so so we were talking about Florida and midges, right? And then some people say you can't because there's no pollinator. But then there's always the option to do the hand pollination. And you're going to demonstrate hand pollination, but you know for a fact that you don't have to. You'll still get pods.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to if you got the proper shade and the midges around, and that's why I have fruits scattered around.
Right.
That the squirrel's been eating to attract the midges.
And you know what's funny? I remember seeing a photo that you posted in the Facebook group, the Extreme Coffee Cacao group, and you had cages. You had literally cages on your pods, and I thought that was the funniest thing to see, these beautiful pods, and then he has a cage. Why did you put them in cages?
To protect them from the squirrels.
So you have a couple of squirrels that come around and attack. Let me tell you, I have a squirrel too in my yard, and he comes around, but he has yet to touch the cacao. And I'm praying to God that he never gets excited about messing with my cacao pods, because I don't want to have to put cages.
Yeah, it's a young raccoon.
And here is one of the troublemakers in the backyard. Luckily he doesn't like to attack the cacao pods, but he definitely is climbing that tree, and he wants to get himself
mangoes.
A mango.
Yeah, so these tiny little things here, the flowers, have very intricate and complicated, well, fairly complicated anatomy. See, you have the petals here, you have the hoods hiding the anthers and the pollen.
All right, so your point is that the anthers are hidden behind a hood.
Yes.
Okay, so when you're going to hand pollinate, as you observe, you need to get in there closely. And do you use a little magnifying glass, or do you don't bother with that?
I don't bother with that.
You got good eyesight. Okay, I need a magnifying glass. But I think your point was well taken. The pollen is hiding, and we need to get behind there. So what you do is you take off the little hoods, revealing the anthers that have the pollen on them. Okay, so that's kind of what you're looking for. You want to get into the flower, and you want to separate that little hood. Okay, what do you do then after that?
No, you take off the anther with the final.
You actually remove the anther itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have the little anther with the pollen on the tip of it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what we've got next. Okay.
Yeah, and then I go over to the other tree, and I gently.
That's the easy part now, right?
Yeah.
Seems like that's the easy part, because all you have to do is just touch it, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Rub it. Yep.
So right onto the stigma, which is the female part.
Yep. Okay. Right onto the stigma.
So we go around, and that's it. So the hardest part was getting the little hood off and removing the stamen.
Yeah.
Okay. So that I think that was a worthy explanation. I'll get a little photograph, if I can, of the actual flower with the anatomy, so you can better understand what Stephen just explained. That is, if the video that we did close up doesn't come out good. All right, hopefully it did. So if you don't see that video, obviously it didn't come out good. But Stephen, now the cross pollination, all right, how more beneficial do you really think that is?
I think it's significantly more beneficial.
Okay, so you think that helps with more yield?
Yes.
Okay.
It helps with a lot more yield.
So you get more yield with the hand pollination. Cross pollination is something that is not always necessary, because some trees are self-compatible with their own pollen, but you never know. And if you're one of those people that has one tree in your yard and you never get any pods, it's either no midges, no insect, or even if you're hand pollinating, if it doesn't work, if it's from the same tree and you get no pods, you have an incompatible tree.
I'll tell you though, this tree has had flowers and flowers and flowers and no fruit until the others started flowering.
Okay, so this tree most likely is not compatible with its own pollen.
Yes.
All right, because when the other ones began to flower, then this one started to produce.
Yes.
And the insects obviously took care of that, because at that time you were not hand pollinating.
Yes.
All right, I got it. So I hope that makes sense, because that's a great explanation. A lot of people in South Florida are not aware that you can actually grow some cacao pods. All right, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for showing me your hospitality, and we'll keep in touch.
Okay.
Have a great one, Steve.
Thanks, you too.